What's that sound? It's for amusement only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick and...
Ava!
Hey, we're back again. It's been almost a solid year since...
Sorry.
last... Well, it's my fault, too.
I mean, it's both of ours.
We've both been pretty busy.
Yeah.
So, before we get into what we've been working on, let's start off by wishing Wayne Nyans a happy 103rd birthday. 103.
Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot. So I spoke with him on his birthday and a few days before, and he's still as sharp as ever, still living on his own and doing well. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. I hope I am doing half as well at half his age.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Wayne. And next up, my best friend Ryan
Dun, dun, dun.
has released a new watch.
Ooh.
And it's been so long since we've recorded, I think, that his
That-
previous watch hadn't released yet.
Probably not, honestly.
Probably not. I'm honestly not sure. His previous watch was called Step Right Up, and
Yep.
it was themed after a early 1900s shooting gallery at a fair
Yeah.
type thing. So this next watch is called Ricochet, and it was released by the same company, Mr. Jones Watches. And this one features pinball, and there's 3 robots, and
Our favorite things.
they're all gathered around a wood rail, playing a game. And each of the 3 is made with a different
Chrome.
color of metallic
Chrome.
brushed on. It's not chrome.
What is it?
Different
It
metals.
looks like chrome.
There's like a copper, a gold, and a silver
That
color.
looks like chrome.
Anyway, they're all gathered around a game, and there's a couple reels which indicate the hour and the minute. And the second hand is a color that flashes behind the pop bumper and inserts on the playfield. It's really cool. So I was lucky enough to get one. It was a limited creation. Only 100 were made. But hopefully they will be
Make
adding
more.
adding that to their permanent collection so anybody can order one. If you would like to do that, there will be a link in the show notes, and click on that and add yourself to the interested list. Speaking of interested,
Dun, dun, dun.
I have made a newsletter, and this newsletter will include information about upcoming games that I'm making, behind the scenes, creation details,
All
and
the pinball.
yeah,
needs.
photos and things which I have failed to share on social media over the past year or two.
Honestly, if you look through our photo galleries, it's just pinball, pinball.
There's a lot of pinball. So it would be good to be able to share that with people in a more efficient way, and especially to people who are interested. So in order to do that, I created this mailing list. All you have to provide is your email address. You don't have to provide your name or address or any other information. And then about once a quarter is how frequently I'll be putting that out. So if you're interested, you may sign up on the
There.
link that's in the show notes. Yeah, we're having a hard time speaking.
Oh, don't worry. We all do.
So that brings us to...
Silver balls!
Yeah, Silver Falls. Silver Falls is the latest creation that I've put out for the P3. And
It's
this...
kind of like Sims. Like the video game Sims, if any of you have ever played it.
Yeah, that was a collaboration between myself and my other daughter, Sophia.
Yes.
And she is big into The Sims and those kind of crafting and building games. So
Yeah.
we wanted to create something...
Interior design, all that stuff.
Yep. We wanted to create something using the Heist playfield.
Yes, the best
which,
game.
Which has a cityscape on it.
Like a normal city.
And so we were thinking about different theme ideas for what a game could be that used that module, and we came up with a game where you're trying to build and furnish a house.
Yep.
So the idea, the initial concept was moving from room to room and furnishing those rooms, having some kind of need that needed to be fulfilled. In The Sims, you're constantly managing different needs as you go.
This you're just trying to buy furniture.
In the creation process, we ruled out having to juggle all that. It became way too difficult, way too quickly. Yeah. So there were a few different ideas that were axed from the game as things went on. We'll talk about those more as we get into the gameplay. But Ava has played a bunch, died a bunch. And
I'm not very good at it.
It's a hard game.
Yeah, the good thing about it is you can change settings. So it could be for a beginner all the way to a very advanced player. It can be basically for any skill level. So
that was the goal.
Yeah.
So
well, you did a good job at it.
Thank you.
I applaud
you. It took quite a while to balance it just right. There's still a few things which are pretty hard. There's one shot in the kitchen, which is the second scene, which is pretty difficult, even for advanced players. So I get a lot of complaints about that shot being a little difficult, but once players move past that, it
eases up again.
It opens up again. Yeah, and that was the goal. So first off, let's talk about the music. So the music, I hired Scott Danesi. Scott Danesi is well known for creating the game Total Nuclear Annihilation, as well as Rick and Morty. And he...
really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
He did the music for both of those, as well as the playfield layout and design, and he did a whole lot of work on both of those games.
I would
he
assume
did
so.
everything on Total Nuclear Annihilation, which is quite a feat. And that game is super fun.
Nice.
Hopefully,
haven't played it, but hopefully I will one day.
Hopefully when things open up a little, I'll be able to take you out and introduce you to
Pinball!
those games.
Woo!
Yeah. But at any rate, I really like Scott. I've been talking with him on and off about different things, taught him how to play a bingo. He won big on, I believe it was Gay Time at York a few years ago. So we had talked about maybe collaborating in the past, and
here we are today.
Yeah, I gave him the shot at doing the music for this. The thing with Silver Falls was that I had a very specific aesthetic in mind, audio aesthetic. I wanted to use chill hop. Are you familiar with that?
Not really, but I mean, I've
genre?
listened to the music in Silver Falls, so I mean,
so you're aware.
I'm aware of it now. I wasn't before.
So I listen to a lot of that kind of thing while I'm programming, and
really?
That's another term is lo-fi hip-hop. Chill hop is a slightly different take on a similar genre, but the idea is that it's very relaxed, kind of rhythmic beats, and
like just
interspersed
focused.
with small elements of treble that repeat. So yeah, and it really helps you focus on what's going on. So
yeah.
The reason I wanted that is I wanted the game to be more laid back. So instead of the white knuckle adrenaline rush that like Ranger in the Ruins is, I wanted
being
this...
completely stressed out all the time.
Right. I wanted this to be more relaxing and for the player to be able to enjoy their time.
Even though I
playing.
still get mad because I'm
Yes,
very bad
Ava
at
gets
it.
very mad. It's pretty amazing to play with her. She gets quite upset. She's a type. She doesn't hit the game. She yells at the game.
So. Yeah, I don't think I've ever tilted in my entire life because I'm just.
Oh sure.
What do you mean? Oh sure. Okay, I might have tilted like twice, but other than that, instead of your like 10 million tilts, thank you very much. You literally tilted on Silver Falls the other day. So, don't be talking to me. I don't even remember the last time I tilted on a game.
Mm-hmm.
So, instead of hitting it, I just like, I don't even know how to describe it. I just get really mad.
She just yells at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Scott's music really fits in with the aesthetic I was looking for. This is very different from the kind of hard edge techno that he's got in his other games.
It's very chill and like relaxing.
It's right in the name, chill hop. So, anyway, Scott did a fantastic job, and I could not be more thrilled Each room
Round of
has
applause.
each different scene within the game has a different song that plays, and then he also wrote several different loops for different things that happen within the game, which we'll get into during the gameplay.
Yes.
But it all meshes together very well. I'm very pleased with how that came out.
Good job, Scott.
Yeah. So, thank you, Scott. And let's talk about initially what happens when you start the game. So
Is you get to pick a character.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite features.
your favorite part is just
I was
picking-
gonna say.
not actually playing. It's just picking the
Yeah,
character.
I was gonna say that, and then I was like, maybe I should hold on for a sec.
So, out of curiosity, why do you say that? What's
I just like, so when you first fire up the game, obviously it opens to the like title screen, and you just see the cityscape, very breezy. Anyways, after you get past that, there are a ton of character that you can choose from, and with each character it has 3 skin toned, and with each skin tone it's a different variety of colors too.
Mhm.
And you get to pick a voice for each character.
Yep.
I mean, you only get to pick one unless you're doing like a co-op.
multiplayer game?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and I just love the character like designs. I always play the same one, but I like the character designs and all the thought that went into the process of making them.
So I attempted to make a split of half and half as far as kind of male presenting characters and female presenting characters, and then there are 3 different male presenting voice actors and 3 different female presenting voice actors.
Yes.
So you can really mix
One
and
of
match.
them is not me, sadly.
You can really mix and match and find ideally exactly the character that you would like to play.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And each character is like a different job or a different
Yeah. So like some of the ones off my head are a football player, like emo teenager,
That's
which
the
is
one
the
you
one I
always
always
pick.
play. Man. Then there's a nurse or a doctor,
Mhm.
and well, yes, both. A chef, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones off the top of my head. But
There's a
and
variety of-
there's an astronaut too.
Yeah. There's a variety of scientists and astronauts. There's a hippie.
Nice.
There's
That'd be
a
Mom's character.
grandma and a grandpa. Just all kinds of different characters. And so ideally everybody gets to pick something that can
They
represent
like.
them, is an avatar in the game for them.
Yeah.
It's not, perfect. There's definitely more options I would have loved to add, but
There's quite a few though.
yes, I think there are 30. I want to say there's either.
There's either.
And here's where I might have fallen down. Just remembering how much I put into the game. It was either 24 different character types or 30 different character types.
Well,
there will be a link to the website, which is silverfallsforever.com, and that gives you
very nice
the rundown.
name.
Thank you. Thank you. And that'll tell you exactly. But at any rate, yes, once you pick your avatar, then it brings you to the living room.
Dun dun dun.
So
First room.
The living room is one of 6 different rooms or scenes within the game.
I've only gotten to 2, and I'm kind of sad about it, but it's
So,
okay.
Both of the kids, both of my kids, have only gotten to the second scene.
Crying.
Unless we work in a team game.
Even
However,
then, we didn't get past
just
today.
recently, yes. We haven't gotten past that second scene, but we got very close. We were in the final
And then
portion
I
of the
kept
second
losing all the balls.
me too, yes. At any rate,
There is a living room, a kitchen, a game room, a bathroom, a bedroom, and at the end, there's a job.
yep. And that's the wizard mode.
Wizard.
So, the main goal in each of the rooms is to populate it with furniture. And to populate it with furniture, you need to acquire pin bucks.
Which basically just means rolling over different ramps or targets on the playfield.
Yep, hitting different switches and so forth. And each awards you a different amount of pin bucks.
Yeah.
The amount is actually randomized for
Really?
each hit. Mhm.
Oh, except for there is one that's my favorite to hit, and it's the right by the jail on the high playfield. There's a little what do you call it?
The spinner?
Spinner, yeah, with a coin on it. And however hard the ball goes through it and however many times it spins, it gives you that much amount of cash. So like if it only spins like 3 times, you only get however much.
3 times whatever it spins worth.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then if you get like 11 times, then it's 11 times whatever you spin.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
my favorite one.
the spinner is one of my favorite shots on that playfield as well. And so I wanted to make it so that it wasn't overpowered. You know, it doesn't give you a tremendous amount of pin bucks per spin, but
it's fun.
If you get the spinner really going, then you can earn a lot of pin bucks very quickly. It's also a relatively safe shot. In fact, every shot on the Heist playfield returns relatively safely to the flippers.
Except for my least favorite one, and it's still the same as, I don't even know, like a year ago. It's the stupid hacker ramp, which I can never get.
So she's talking about the right ramp on the Heist playfield.
It's the red one.
And I've shown her a few different ways that she can access it.
Finally
you can
did it
backhand
today.
or forehand it.
I did it 2 times today. That was it. And I tried to do it like 7 other times. They all came right down and went straight into a gutter wall. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
I will do it one day successfully. Multiple times.
At any rate, that one does also safely return to the flippers.
Normally
if you
for
hit it,
you.
if you actually make it all the way up the ramp. But if you don't, like
sad day hours.
poor Ava here, then yeah, you drain. At any rate, as you're making these pin bucks, as I mentioned, the value is randomized. So there's a range that I set for each target or each main shot within the game. Orbits are worth more than stand-up targets, and ramps are worth more than orbits. I also have a combo system that came up in beta testing, where Kevin, one of the beta testers from Buffalo Pinball, thank you, Kevin, suggested that it would be nice if there was some kind of additional thing to shoot for. So instead of just having a super chilled out experience where you're collecting pin bucks, create a little bit of friction there where there is a shot that's highlighted, and if you hit that, then you earn a specific amount of pin bucks.
Nice.
So the thing with the combo system is that for each main shot that you hit on the upper play field, not stand-up targets, but for example ramps or the spinner or any of the loops, then it will highlight a shot on the opposite side of the play field.
Okay.
And if you hit that shot, then it gives you a flat amount of pin bucks, which is worth more than whatever that shot would have been ordinarily.
Okay. I got it.
So you can really rack up the pin bucks if you're only focusing on combos.
The only problem for me in the combos is the arrow moves like quite fast, and I normally don't have very good aim for
the arrow moves with each successful shot that you make.
Oh.
Otherwise, it'll stay there forever.
Well, then I guess I'm making a lot of successful shots.
You are. That's a good
Except
thing.
I'm also dying.
Now, the other problem with the combo system, from a player's perspective, it's not a problem per se, but any missed shot that you make, for example, hitting one of the stand-up targets, the slingshots, the side targets, will remove the combo indicator.
Sad.
Yes. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of that combo before it disappears.
I don't think I've done it successfully. Like, I think I might have done it once, but other than that.
Yeah, well, you haven't been focusing on it either.
Yeah.
So, it's a different way to play the game, and it's nice to have that option.
Yeah.
However, I will say that it makes it more dangerous.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, because if you're playing for combos, it's a little different than if you're playing for just the safe shots that you enjoy making. So, it can be a little tricky. At any rate,
what you're trying to shoot for is the jail.
Yes. So by default, if you hit the jail 3 times, it will open up.
And you can change that so it can be 1 or 2 times also.
Correct.
Can you put it any higher than 3 times?
No.
Oh.
3 is the max. 3 is hard enough.
It's very hard, though.
Yeah. So the deal with 3 shots, that is the center shot on the Heist playfield. and it is a difficult shot to
It
make
is.
unless you plan for it.
Yes.
Because if you hit it incorrectly, it will drain the ball immediately.
Really?
Yes.
How did I not know this before? I don't think it's happened to me, but I'd be careful.
Showing off. I
I'm
see
just
how
sa-
it is.
Hey,
Anyway.
I already said I was failing enough earlier.
So when you hit that shot and it opens up the door, there's a physical door that opens up, and you shoot into
So
the jail.
technically, you're shooting the jail 4 times.
Right.
Is what it seems like.
By default.
Yes.
And again, you can just make it 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah. However many, basically.
Yes. When you shoot into the jail, what it does is it brings you
takes
to a shop.
the shop.
Yeah. And the shop has 5 different items that you need to purchase.
Like-
Each scene has 5 different items, except for the job.
For the living room, I think you get a couch, 2 lamps, except the lamps you have to purchase separately.
Each sold separately.
Each sold separately, like a real store. Then there's the TV and the table,
Chair.
the chair.
Yeah.
But each of those items is a different amount of pin bucks depending on what it's kind of based off real life. So like the lamps are like only 500 pin bucks, while the couch is like 5,500 pin bucks.
And when you spend the pin bucks, that's actually reducing your score.
Yes.
So the pin bucks have
As your
dual
score.
function. Yeah, they're your score as well as
money.
the currency that you spend in order to furnish the room.
Yeah.
So you have to plan out when you want to go into the store.
I think that's part of the reason why I don't get that high scores is because
spend
as
all
soon
your
as
money.
as soon as I get the enough money, I head straight to the shop and I'm like, okay, spending all the cash.
Yeah, that's one strategy. Or you can shoot around and try to get as much cash as possible before moving to the next scene.
I can't do that.
And yeah, it's pretty challenging.
Honestly, it's hard enough for me. I just try and hit the jail because normally it's very difficult to hit that jail like 3 times, especially in a row, or technically 4 times. But yeah.
So once you purchase all the items in a given scene, then it starts a special mode. It's a timed mode in each case.
It's very difficult from my experience.
It just depends on which room you're in as to
Yeah.
what happens. So in
Well,
the living room,
in the first room it was hard.
in the
so-
living room, one of the things you purchase is a TV, as Ava said. So what the game does is it tells you that you need to turn the TV on so that you can watch TV. When you do this, or you do this by rolling over the TV on the playfield, and then you have to make sure that you don't hit it again and turn it back off. Now,
That's what happens to me all the time. As soon as I get into the mode, I automatically shoot for the TV, and normally I can hit it. And then, except this past time, what happened was it kept going to the left flipper, and it's very hard to hit the TV unless you backhand it, like, very precisely. And I can't seem to do that correctly. So it took me, I almost ran out of time trying to do it, but then, of course, it decided to fall down in the middle.
Yep. So it's almost like it was designed in order to make it difficult for a player to do that consistently. And that's the deal. So the timed modes at the end of each scene are made to be fairly difficult. So the rest of the game, relatively chill. When you get into these time modes, though, it becomes more
Chaos.
chaotic. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So each different scene has its own different mode, timed mode. The
Oh my
living
gosh.
room, as I
The
mentioned,
kitchen one, I think. Do you think which one's the hardest?
the hardest.
Yeah.
I would say perhaps the bedroom, although the
Really?
kitchen is very hard.
Okay. Well, in order it goes living room, kitchen, game room, bathroom, bedroom, and job at the end. But the kitchen is fairly soon in the game. However, I watched him do the shot because I died. Also, it's his turn. We were playing co-op game. Anyways, he did the shot, and what you have to do is you have to. It comes shooting out on the right side, and you have to hit the upper flipper and make it. What's that shot?
It's called the crosstown shot.
Well, you have to make that shot as soon or very relatively soon, because your oven is on fire and you have to put out the fire. So you have to make that crosstown shot, and then that's not all. Then you have to hit the 2 targets on either side of the jail, and it is so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, there's 4. You have to put out each of the burners independently. So the first burner you have to put out is that crosstown shot, and then the remaining 3 are quite a bit
The
easier.
targets.
Yeah, those
They're
targets
not
are
that much
easier.
easier though.
They are dangerous targets, and the oven's on fire. So
Yeah, and you only have limited time, by the way.
yes, although that time that I give you is very generous. If you do happen to exceed the time, it will kill the flippers and kill you. But
Oh yeah, and when you die, it's one of my favorite things of the game. When you die, it says "died of boredom."
So that's the kitchen. The bathroom, or I'm sorry, the game room's next. The game room, you are purchasing arcade games.
See,
and,
I haven't made it this far,
and
so
then you have to turn them all on. But it's
like in
very
real
difficult.
life.
Yeah, it's very difficult because they're clustered together, so it's very easy to
no.
accidentally turn different ones on
oh,
and off.
and they turn it off.
So the way that functions from a gameplay perspective is that each time you turn a game on, it gives you a small boost. So even
Yeah.
if you don't have them all on,
But
it will.
will it turn on and off like each game
Yes.
turns? Oh
Yes.
God,
So as you're rolling, as you might imagine,
no!
it's turning ones on and off.
And you think that one's not the hardest?
It's not. So
Oh,
I made
no.
it so that it was
Why?
relatively easy. So that's
You
the
say
balancing.
relatively easy,
The-
yet I haven't.
The balancing comes in with how much you need to earn as far as pin bucks go
Yeah,
with that.
and I assume
Needs
the
mode.
arcade or game room is relatively expensive.
Yes. So there are different games which are very high dollar. So I wanted to make it so that needs mode was actually pretty fun and relatively laid back compared to the kitchen, which you just came out of, where you're
All
fighting a
chaos.
fire. Right. That one's really hard, but intended to be so.
Yeah.
So the next thing is the bathroom, and you actually start out in the needs mode.
What?
There are pipes which are exposed, and they're shooting water and trying to
Oh,
flood the
no.
room. So you have to quickly get into the jail.
Why didn't they flood when the kitchen was on fire?
Well, that's
What
might
is
be
wrong
one of the call-outs. Yeah. Anyway,
with
so,
this poor house?
so you have to get into the shop very quickly, and then purchase things to cap off those pipes,
Oh,
like
no.
a shower, a
I
toilet,
would fail immediately.
and a sink.
Normally, it takes me a while to go into the actual shop.
So the timer for that is also pretty lengthy. I didn't want to punish you too badly just for making it far into the game. So it's pretty easy to get that one
You
as well.
say easy.
Pretty easy. I didn't say
Uh-huh.
it's very easy.
Sure.
There's also a trick with the bathroom, which I don't know if anybody has noticed or mentioned. You don't actually have to buy all 5. Or wait a minute, did I change that?
He doesn't even remember
I
anymore.
don't remember. There have been so many changes to the game, but at one point you didn't have to buy everything in order to bypass.
And we don't know if this is true or not to this day.
Right. So, intrepid explorers of the bathroom in Silver Falls, give this a shot and let me know if it still works. But when you purchase the 3 items which cap off the pipes
You don't have to buy
and
anymore.
return from the shop, you don't have to buy anymore. So there's a mirror
Oh.
and a toilet brush, which you
Cheat
don't
code.
necessarily have to purchase. You have to
A
buy.
toilet brush.
Well, yeah, you have to buy a sink,
Gross.
a toilet, and a shower. By the way, each of those, when you hit them, will turn on and off.
No.
Yeah. So
Wait, did they flood as well?
no.
Oh.
It just adds lighting effects and sound effects and
You're
stuff.
gonna give me a heart attack.
Different
with this game.
call-outs. Yeah. So that's the bathroom. The bedroom, you're furnishing. You get a bed and a dresser, and the main thing though is you get a computer, and then the computer helps
Ooh.
you look for a job.
Which is the next thing.
Right. So the mode that you have to complete relatively quickly is turning that computer on and leaving it on for a period of time. But
like
it's
that's
right
like the
at.
that's like in the living room.
Yes.
The TV.
So the difficult thing is that you have to hit the left orbit in order to turn it on.
No.
No other
Actually,
shot works.
Wait, so what happens if you hit another shot?
It doesn't turn it on.
So it just gives you another chance, basically. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So you're still earning pin bucks and so forth, but the thing is that the computer doesn't turn on and the time is ticking down. Remember, these are all timed modes. So
hopefully it's not too bad.
Like I said, this to me is the second hardest one because
Oh,
of
no.
the positioning of that computer. It's fairly difficult.
Why?
I do like the sound effects that I chose. So Scott did all the music, but I did all the sound effects and then the balancing and so forth of
Between
all that.
them.
So I picked sound effects or made sound effects that fit into the aesthetic and worked with Scott's music. And I really like the sound effects that I picked for the arcade games and the computer.
I like there's a sink in the kitchen as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly. I like the water sound effects in the game. That's like one of my favorites. I don't know why, but I just do.
So once you complete the bedroom, thank you, by the way. Once you
You're
complete
welcome.
the bedroom, you go to the job, and then the job, you're in a big space, unlike in every previous iteration. And this big space is like a supermarket. And the supermarket...
Do you have to be a cashier?
So you're walking around, and the crane comes out, and the crane actually smashes everything...
Man.
and ruins the store, and you
Oh
have
my
to
God.
you have to hit 40 shots that are indicated
40?
In order to clean it up.
All in
This
the
is the
same-
wizard mode. This
all
is
in the same
hard.
order?
No, it's randomized. So yes, I
Why?
have different pairs of shots.
Oh,
which,
wait. So if you hit a different shot, does it do anything?
I mean, it gives you pin bucks, just like in
But
every other.
like it doesn't.
It doesn't take away or
Okay.
cause any problems. So
Jeez,
yeah,
this
I
game
don't-
is dark.
don't-
First the kitchen catches on fire, then your bathroom floods. Now you have to redo a store.
and you're the only employee who has to fix
Oh
everything.
my God.
So each shot will put something back, so you can see your progress visually, as well as I
So
also
there are
have an
40
indicator
items?
on the playfield. Yes.
Oh my God.
So like freezer doors are open.
Have you
stuff
ever
is
actually
missing.
completed
Yeah.
it?
Twice in one game.
Wait, so what happens once you finish that?
Okay. So first, let me
Also-
tell you more about this mode.
Yes. And then how
It
do you...
Shoots out 3 balls
Do
from
what?
the center launcher.
So it's multi-ball.
It's multi-ball. This is the only multi-ball mode in the game.
Why? That makes it 10 times harder.
Oh, I don't know. Aside from the multi-ball aspect, there are also, the walls and scoops in the middle.
Yeah, where you have to
Okay.
like shoot it and...
Yes. So
Okay,
every time
yeah.
you complete one of the scenes, all the scoops pop up. They start flashing in this cool little light show.
Yeah.
You
and
hit those,
just shoot
and
the
it
ball
brings
into
you to
it.
the next scene. It also gives you an extra ball, crucially. But in the
Okay.
job mode,
Yes.
instead of the scoops popping up,
Oh no, what pops up?
the walls pop up.
Oh my God.
And the walls pop up on a randomized basis, just one.
Why?
And they pop up and they stay up for a few seconds.
Do the scoops also pop up when they do it?
The scoops pop up once you finish
This.
assembling the store.
Oh, okay. And then the walls pop up. Or a wall pops up.
The walls pop up as you're playing. So they block...
What?
Yeah, they block...
Oh my gosh, that's evil. That's actually evil.
Each wall blocks 1/6 of the playfield, so it blocks specific shots. So, for example, there might be a shot that's indicated, and you're not able to hit it for a few seconds because that wall is
That's
popped up.
actually evil.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
However, what I found in playtesting,
And you have to do multi-ball and your 40 shots. Oh my God, I will...
there's
don't
a
think
few
I'll
different
ever do that.
strategies which I've found work for me. The first is to cradle, to let one of the balls drain, cradle a second ball, and then use your third ball in order to make the
To
shots.
actually play.
That way you actually have a backup once
In
you
case.
drain one.
Whew, oh my God.
Yeah.
This
However,
is stressing me out just to listen.
here's the deal.
Does it still have the chill music though?
It does. It's got a different chill music.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds...
The chill music would be stressing me out.
That's how I feel about it in that particular instance.
Oh
So,
my God.
as you're making the shots, different indicators light up on the playfield. You hit those, and it picks from these different randomized pairs. So there's, think 6 different random
So
pairs.
do the pairs pop up at the same? Like, do 2 shots pop up at the same time?
Not at the same time. You have to complete them in an order. It just picks one of those 6
Oh,
orders.
okay.
So, for example, it might be left ramp, right ramp, or left orbit, right orbit, something
But
like
it's
that.
always left and right?
I try to make it so that one shot is on the left side of the playfield and the other's on the right side.
Are
of
they
the
like
playfield.
the same shot? Like, are they what's it called? Symmetrical shots though? Like left
Not
orbit,
necessarily.
right orbit? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, in testing, what I found was that certain pairs of shots were easier to make, especially on the fly. I'm an on-the-fly player. I don't normally trap up the ball and then shoot it. And I wanted to make a game, especially with this playfield, which has so many shot paths. It is so cool.
Yeah.
The way that it's designed. I really
Not to brag or anything, but to brag.
I really love Heist, and so
Oh
I
my
wanted
gosh,
to-
Heist. My favorite thing.
Well, this
Besides your game.
this is your new
Besides
favorite, right? At any rate,
Don't worry.
once you finish the job, you're brought back to
The start?
your new house. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, no.
the living room, which is now empty again.
That's so
You have to populate
mean.
it, yes.
No.
So there are multiple high score tables within the game. The different high score tables are the number of pin bucks that you achieve in a given room. Also, the max number of pin bucks that you've achieved over the whole game.
There are like 7
The
different
number
high scores,
of
I
items
think.
that you've picked up within the job mode. And there's... Oh, the number of rooms that you've entered overall.
Nice.
Yes. So I wanted to talk for a moment about the light shows.
Yes, you did all of those.
I did.
I remember him talking about it.
Now, I'm normally not very good at visualizing or creating light shows. It takes me quite a while to come up with something,
The patterns and stuff.
the patterns and so forth. That is not something which works well with my brain for whatever reason.
I mean, there are specific things for everybody. This is just one of yours.
Yeah, this is what I would call one of my weaknesses.
I think you did a very good job, though.
Thank you, daughter. I appreciate that. So the light shows, similar to Quest for Glory, I wanted each, and this feeds into the general laid-back aesthetic, but I wanted each room that you...
chill, aesthetic.
Yeah, each room that you go into to have its own base light.
Light.
So, like, the living room is blue. The kitchen is orange.
The kitchen light is actually, like, you don't have to purchase it. It's kind of cool. Like, there's an actual visual light. Like,
Each scene has a visual lamp, and the reason for
Yeah.
that is I wanted to have a light source within the room.
so you don't, it's
Even if
not
it's-
completely
right.
pitch black.
So each lamp that you purchase in any given room, if it has a lamp, is its own light source. So this is a 3D game, as we mentioned up top, and I tried to utilize the features of the game engine in order to make it feel like you're within that world.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
If I do say so myself.
I'm a big fan. Anyway, so the light shows, there's a few different special ones. First is multipliers. We haven't actually talked about that, but at the start of each ball, the crane comes out. If you hit the crane,
Oh my gosh.
as it's sweeping across the playfield, it functions as a bash target. If you hit that, it enables a playfield multiplier for 10 seconds.
Nice.
Yep. And
It
the music
actually-
changes.
It actually stays on for longer than you would think. Like, normally, like, if you've ever played Heist where their crane comes down, I feel like it stays on longer. Does it stay on longer? Because it feels like it to me.
It's approximately the same amount of time.
Okay, well, I haven't played Heist in a while, but to me, it feels like approximately the same time. Because it stays on for, like, a good, I don't know, like, 15 seconds, maybe?
It takes 8 to 10 seconds is how
Wow,
long
I was way off,
it sweeps
but okay.
across. But yeah, you're real close there. You're in the neighborhood. So as it's sweeping across, if you hit the ball, if you hit the target on the front of the crane, it enables that multiplier mode. It displays a little indicator down at the bottom, but the lights also change.
The only annoying thing with the crane for me is that it often, when I'm playing, my goal is to just hit the jail. Like, that's my only goal. Because normally it takes me, like, at least, like, 3 or 4 minutes just to hit the jail, like, 3 or 4 times. So, for me, when I'm doing that, the crane, I'm not trying to get that much money. Because I normally just rack up pin bucks when I'm playing. When I'm trying to hit the jail. But often failing. Anyways, so whenever I do that, the crane often goes right in front of the jail whenever I'm super close to hitting it.
It does.
So I often get the multiplier, but not the jail.
Or, as frequently happens, you hit the crane and then drain immediately.
Which is
that
also
happens to me
annoying.
too. So it's almost like I made it that way on purpose.
It's almost like a weakness and
That's true.
an advantage at the same time.
Yeah, that's the whole balancing thing.
Wow.
So this game is the first game that I've made with a ball save.
Oh, thank God
And-
for that. Today
So-
I was doing so terribly. I literally, on every ball I literally had 2 ball saves. It was bad.
So I added that during the beta period. I initially was very resistant to adding a ball save.
Why? It helps
I-
so much.
I'm not a fan of ball saves.
Why?
I feel like you should be able.
What do you mean you should be
You
able?
should be able
Uh-huh.
to do it.
Right,
without a ball
Mr. Pro here.
save. Yeah, no, I drain more than anybody. At any rate.
Uh-huh. Sure.
So the multiplier mode starts up specific music from Scott, and it also enables all the lamps to be bright white. And so they
Ooh.
kind of flare up white, and it stays white for 10 seconds, and then it switches back to whatever the room light show is.
Yeah.
When you hit the jail, it makes the closest approximation to brown that I could make, like
Oh.
you're knocking on a
It
door.
looks kind of like orange.
It does, because LEDs can't display brown.
Oh. Why?
It's just not a color that they can reproduce.
That's kind of stupid, but okay. Anyways,
It's the way that they work.
I know, I'm just saying. They should be able to make brown. It's one of the basic colors. It's made of, like, every color.
Yeah.
Anyways.
At any rate,
So-
so what happens is it swirls around the playfield when you knock as it plays the call.
Also, when you hit the jail, it actually, on the playfield, it says knock, knock, knock.
Yep.
Depending on how many times you hit the jail. So if you only hit the jail once, it'll say knock. If you hit it 2 times, it says knock, knock. If you hit it 3 times, knock, knock, knock.
So those are some of the specialty light shows. The scoops obviously flash and pulse and stuff when they're up to indicate, hey, shoot this thing.
You know, as it does.
Yeah. And there's a few other specialty light shows, like, for example, when the kitchen's on fire, I have a special fire
You
light
say
show,
it so casually.
which lights the specific shot that you need to hit. So it
To be honest, the lights make it, when the kitchen was on fire, I was so chaotic during that time. Because I was like, oh no, the kitchen's on fire. Because it actually looked like it, kind of. And I was just like, oh my gosh, my heart rate. I was like, get a fire extinguisher.
yeah,
Even
that
though
was-
is there one in the game? I don't think so. No.
that was the emotion I wanted to capture.
I was
So
like, no, fire.
happy to hear that. At any rate, yeah, there's that fire light show. There's a few other things too, like I mentioned in the bathroom, when you hit the toilet or sink
When the water
or
turns
shower. Aside from turning the water on and initiating specific callouts, there's also a flush light show that I make,
Nice.
which is it swirls around
on. Real nice.
and flashes between different colors of blue.
Yeah.
There's a few other things. One of the difficulties with light shows, and one of the things that really kind of sticks in my brain
When
is
you're trying to do a light
figuring
show.
out priorities of light shows. So, like, when should a light show be preempted and when should it not?
Yeah.
And that's actually a really tricky balance for me to come up with, because obviously I want to present you these different light shows, but there are
But you
different
don't have to
actions
be, like-
in pinball
Yeah.
that can stack and create other opportunities for light shows
So
to
you don't want it to be like too,
crazy looking.
crazy
Yeah.
or busy looking.
And so during testing, that's where refinement comes in for me, and I settled on something which is a little more laid back
It's
when I
very,
had to
like,
make that choice.
casual.
Yeah.
Except for the fire.
Right.
Yeah.
So inserts and things like for the fire mode are, a particular thing that I do, which will carry on, but then other things are preempted. So like combo shots, those are indicated with a flashing purple light, and
Bam, bam.
that stays on top versus some of these other things that happen.
Yep.
So that's the light show. One of the other features that we wanted to talk about was the co-op mode.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it makes your life 10 million times easier.
So
in the game and in reality.
In co-op, and my friend Don and I have talked about this on a weekly podcast that we do called Gaming on 10, and the link will be in the show notes for that.
I'm not on that.
But Don has played this with some friends out his way, and he was talking about team play and how much nicer of an experience it is because you're all feeding into a shared pin box.
So you can all, when you're playing it in co-op mode, you can have the same player, essentially. Avatar. The same. So you're essentially the same person. You're working together towards the same goal. Instead of having separate point scores, you each have the same score.
Point value,
yeah.
Right, the pin box value. And so it makes it a little easier to progress. And I find it's really fun. And Don mentioned this too. You kind of cheer each other on, and it's less... it's a bit
competitive?
It's a different experience than
Rival
some
play?
other games in co-op that I've played as well. One of the cool things about the P3 is that all their games, all their main platform games, except for Cannon Lagoon, support...
Which I have not played yet, but I will soon, I promise.
Ava's really slacking here. She's
I know, it's...
been working on a million different things, so... and I'm super proud of all the stuff that you've been working on, by the way.
I'm so great.
You
I'm just kidding.
You are, in fact, great. But anyway, we'll be talking about Cannon Lagoon at another time.
Yes.
However,
hopefully soon.
That's been the kiss of death for us so far.
Honestly.
We're going to start doing that, so we agreed we wouldn't mention that this time. And here we are, talking about it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Again.
So co-op mode, it's called Team Play on the P3, and all of their main games support that. And it is fantastic and a lot of fun. But in Silver Falls specifically, it's really fun. You've got that laid-back atmosphere.
Wait, so I have a question. Can you also do like a versus mode against someone, like where it's two separate players? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. We haven't done that yet, where it's like competitive.
So you can do, like, for example, you and Sophia can... play against me.
Yeah.
So you're both competing against me.
Oh, so you can have teams.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's why they call it team play.
Well, yeah.
Instead of just co-op. So in co-op, normally you're all cooperating. But in team play, you can have a mixture of people working together or against. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I was very excited by this prospect of destroying me.
I'm just thinking about it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Poor old dad over here.
It's okay. I'll go easy on you.
Sure. Maybe Sophia will play on my team and we'll work against you.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, one of the other things that is special about the P3, and we've mentioned this in the past episodes, is the profile setup. So I built Silver Falls so that the different settings that you can apply to make the game potentially easier for a new player, those can be set on a machine level, so everybody experiences them the same way, or they can be set on a profile level.
Speaking of which, we need to talk about profiles.
Yes. So one of the things we did today, which we hadn't done previously, was I set up special settings on Ava's profile.
Yes,
after
it
she
made
had
it
some
10 million times easier, even though I still couldn't get past the kitchen. But we're not talking about that right now. So
after she had some particularly brutal games,
it was
today,
sad.
I went in and changed the settings on her profile so that she earned
easier.
2 times more pin bucks than normal.
And you only had to hit the jail
one
once,
time in order to open it up.
Technically twice.
Right.
Well, one time to open it up, and another shot to actually go in the store.
So that, of course, changes the entire nature of the game.
Yeah.
And then playing it in team play
which we also did.
That also makes it friendlier. So we were able to progress through to the end of the kitchen and I made
Today.
the tough shot, and then we both bricked a whole bunch and trained
Oh, it was sad.
on
It
the
was
shots
so
that
sad.
surround the jail. So I think we made one or two of them, but we needed one or two more, and
Oh yeah.
just could not put that together before we started recording. So we just played a few quick games before recording here, but overall, what did you think? And you played some, obviously, during the creation of the game
Oh,
and
yeah.
at various points.
Yes. I really like it. I feel like you can play it at any skill set that you have,
Mhm.
and like with most games, but you have a more like custom experience. I feel like with all the characters and the voices and everything that you get to choose. I feel like it's more unique and geared towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the idea. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
felt that way.
Good job.
Thank you. So, how did you feel about the concept of purchasing furniture and seeing it populate within
I feel
the
like
space?
it
and
was
all that?
I feel like it was kind of like a life simulation almost, which I mean it technically is. But yeah, it was really fun to try and do it. And sometimes when you go into the shop, you don't have enough money, but you can only go into the shop once before it closes again.
Yes,
So it was fun, but at the same time frustrating.
that's the idea. So, Silver Falls is available from the Multimorphic store, and you can purchase it today and install it
Yes.
for $150, which, well, $149 actually.
You save $1 every day.
That's right. So, check it out, and hopefully you enjoy it as well.
And you
I've
can
had-
give us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I've had some great feedback so far, and I'm always looking to hear what other people think about games that I've made. It's a real thrill to see people enjoy stuff that I've spent a lot of time making.
That's what you do it for.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons. Yeah.
One of
Also,
many.
just the joy of creation.
Yes.
That is one of those things. So,
Yes.
um,
So wait, I have a question for you.
yes.
It would this be your favorite game that you have created so far?
Ooh. Oh, that's a tricky one.
Yes.
So my favorite game that I've created,
Is Ranger in the Ruins or Quest for Glory?
Uh,
Or this?
or the multi bingo, or multi races,
Or just out of the
or
P3
Robo
games.
Frenzy.
Out of the P3 games.
Okay. Out of the P3 games, I would
That you've
say
created.
my favorite is
Long suspense here.
all of them.
No, that's not acceptable.
They all hold a
Special
favorite
place in
position.
your heart.
Yes, they're all favorites for different reasons. So,
So it's like me
Um,
and Sophie, except
yeah.
we all know I'm the favorite child.
uh,
Hey!
that's not how that
what
works.
does that mean?
At any rate, so
Change subject.
this Silver Falls is special for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that it was co-designed with Sophia, and I'm so
Yes.
excited
My
that,
lovely sister.
yeah, that people are able to play something that we created together.
Yeah.
That's really special. So,
Yeah. You still
know.
need to create one with me, by the way.
we might be working on something
Uh-huh.
with that at the moment. So, speaking of, let's talk about some upcoming
Upcoming
projects.
project time.
Warp, warp. So in the EM world, I had some folks over recently to play some different games that I'd created, and just kind of quickly play through different parts of the P3 library, as well as some other games that I had down in the arcade. And one of the games is Golden Nugget. Golden Nugget has
That game confuses me, but it's fun.
it's a lot more random chance than
Yeah, it's
many
a lot
other
more
games.
just like pure luck.
Yeah. So the way that that's laid out, there are 6 different lanes on either side of a center lane.
So
And
12 or 13 in all. I
there's
can count.
13 in all. That's correct. And the ones on the left are red, and the ones on the right are green.
Christmas colors.
Yes, and you are trying to achieve 6 balls on one side or the other, and
Yes.
and they're a sequence, so you have to complete them in a row in order to win replays. Now, you can win up to 100 replays,
Which is a lot.
which is an awful lot, by achieving all 6 in a row. That's
Yes.
extremely difficult.
Yeah,
though.
it's like pure luck. It's so hard.
It's almost pure luck,
What
but
do you mean
basically pure
almost
luck.
pure luck.
Yeah. So there is a flipper.
There's a single flipper.
So I guess this counts as pinball. There's a lot of
What? It doesn't. I
There's
don't
a
know
common-
if it counts as pinball.
common argument I get into with people about bingos and flipperless games
I
that they're
don't-
not pinball.
I didn't say that this one wasn't pinball. It has a flipper, so it's not flipperless.
Right.
Which means I think it's not a pinball because it's standing upright, like a vertical.
Yes.
Which pinball, I guess, could be vertical. It would
Yes.
just be very.
Like Bonsai Run.
I have not played that. Whatever.
So there's
Anyways.
a vertical pinball in the back glass.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Um,
interesting. Anyways, yeah. So I don't consider this one to be a pinball.
Okay. And, I would say the same, but
Different people have different opinions.
different people have different opinions. I've never heard somebody say this is a pinball. It's just I was
Yeah.
saying that that's a common
Yes, we get.
thing that I get into all the time because actual pinballs
Yes.
people say are not pinball, and then
Non-pinballs are pinball.
something like this could fall into that category because it has a flipper.
A flipper.
Anyway, so the flipper is tucked in the left-hand side, and it's basically something that every ball touches, but the actual control it gives you is next to none.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very, very small.
The original balls weigh more than the balls
Really?
that are in there.
And I
Yeah.
thought these ones were hard to heavy.
No,
or-
they're very lightweight.
Really?
The original balls are like plastic-coated marbles
Oh my god. Yeah, those would weigh a ton. Because they're
compared
like
to these.
normal
These are-
size pinballs.
Yeah. These are essentially plastic. So they bounce a lot.
Yeah, which is not helpful
It's-
in the slightest.
It's really not fantastic. But the thing that's messed up on the game that I need to fix is that there's a couple of those relays. Each number on either side is governed by a trip relay.
Nice.
And there's a couple of them on one side which aren't tripping for some reason, so I need to pop it open and see.
Problem.
Yep. But that'll be a quick fix. It's probably a leaf switch on the prior relay.
Then we have Circus.
Yeah, so Circus is actually the first
Second game.
solid state machine that
it?
yeah
I thought it was Pop Card.
that was EM.
Oh.
Yeah. At any rate,
It's-
Circus has a sound chip which has failed, and what that does is it plays the same sound over and over
On loop.
and over and over again.
It's like
and
you're watching
It sounds like a glass shattering.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever watched something and it's gotten stuck, like glitched,
Yeah.
and it's been on loop like for a while, that's what it sounds like, except it sounds like glass shattering. It's interesting.
So I need to fix that.
And it's soldering, and I really want to solder, so tell him to let me solder, because I love soldering, and he won't let me.
In this instance,
Yeah, you say that every time in this instance. The last time I soldered, I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
No.
At any rate.
No. It was like on Turf King, which I fixed when I was like 10.
You were 8?
I don't even know anymore, because it's been that long since I've soldered.
At any rate. I need to change a chip on that, and while I'm doing that, I'll replace all the capacitors on
And
the soundboard.
solder.
That's all I have to say. At any rate, that's what's going on with me and games that I need to fix. I still need to cut a piece of glass, or have a piece of glass cut, rather, for line drive.
We still...
It's been years, and
It's been years.
My contact at the glass shop on Southside, where I normally get my glass cut, has left that company.
So you now have
Or
zero.
because of COVID, he's not answering his emails or something. Or I don't know.
Something
what's up.
happened.
So now I need to
Get a new contact.
get a new contact, or perhaps a new glass shop. There's a few of them in the area, but the one that I went to did great work. They were reasonably priced and
Just
all
find
that.
a new contact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just a matter of time,
You could just email them.
of which I have none.
Anyways, but yeah, right now we just have two pieces of plexiglass stacked on top of each
Yeah,
other.
they were scrap plexi, and
It's bad. Like the ball could fit through one of them. Like
there's
in
a little
between them.
hole.
A little. You say a little.
It's a small triangle.
Sure.
That a ball has never fallen out of.
That you know of.
Once it happened, actually.
I see.
I flipped it around so that it couldn't happen again.
Sure.
So yeah, I need to have a piece of glass.
Line Drive is actually really fun though.
Line Drive is super fun.
Oh my gosh, when you first played the sound thing on it though, that thing gave me a heart attack.
Ava helped me figure out the capacitor values
Oh my
for
God.
the different soundboards. These are not documented. They were made by Allied Leisure, and then they were shopped to different manufacturers, Williams being one of them, for
But
their
the
very early games
sounds.
with computerized sound.
But the sound
And
is,
the-
oh my god.
It plays multiple
Oh
different
my
sounds, and we hadn't heard what those sounds were. I
So
knew that
for
they
the
were,
first time, I wasn't even listening. I was upstairs.
and it was late at night.
And it was like 10 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden, all I hear is this little girl screaming, like at the top of her lungs. And I thought there was a murderer in the house or something. I got so
It
scared.
was pretty rough. So,
Anyways,
at any rate,
yeah,
that's
no.
great. You still love that sound.
Yeah, sure.
But that needs to happen. And as far as upcoming projects, I've been working on a new playfield layout
Dun, dun, dun.
and game for the P3.
Which he still has not named. So
It's not named. Yeah, I was just talking with Eva about it before the podcast.
yeah, I was like, we should call it unnamed.
Yeah. So, more details to come on that, but that's...
But the main thing you've been working
No.
on recently
Yes.
is
Yes.
redoing Quest for Glory.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get that, what I call show ready, so making it so that it's friendlier and playable by people who are not
And
just me.
surprise, surprise, some of my digital artwork may or may not be making an appearance there.
Yes, so Ava's actually working on artwork to replace some of the original
It's gonna
sprites,
take
which
like forever though, so
still remain.
don't count on it being anytime
There's
soon.
only 150 different sprites, with,
Which have
different
all
animations.
different animations.
Yeah.
And animations, if you don't know how to do an animation, you have to take each picture essentially that you draw and move it ever so slightly. So for the one that I'm doing now, I'm actually redoing a bear that turns into a prince, which originally I did not know turned into a prince until recently. So I just thought it was a bear. So I have to draw each animation separately, and it's gonna be like over 100 frames for this one bear turning into a prince thing. So yeah, it's probably gonna take me like at least a couple years. So I mean, he'll probably scatter it in like through the years
over time.
Yeah.
Over time.
So
this is high priority for Ava. Nothing takes priority over this for you.
Nothing
but for
except
me
for
now,
school.
low priority. I'm just kidding, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, so I've rewritten the game, and it is much friendlier.
It's like a brand new game. It's really good.
Expect a different episode on that here in the future.
Oh my gosh, but the animations. Okay, so the original artwork is from the game originally?
Yes.
The
From
game was made in
1990.
1990. Back then, they did not have the technology that we have today.
Right.
So all of these are like the lowest resolution pics I've ever seen in my entire life. So like today, when I was working on it, there was a teal shadow, which I thought was a chain. But it was like pixelated so much I could not tell what it was.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyways,
they
The blessing
did what
of
they
working
could with the
low
technology that they
resolution.
had, but
Yeah.
and I think that
It looks-
game
yeah.
is fantastic.
it's
The original,
pretty fun.
I mean.
Yeah. It's just the artwork, man. The artwork.
Now well, that's what I mean. The artwork.
Well,
is
yeah, I
fantastic.
like the artwork for like
in
its time.
context of the game too. Like that's the thing that you're not seeing is the artwork when you blow it up to 800 million pixels.
Yeah.
It's different, but in the context of the game, where the entire resolution of the monitor
It was
is much
made to
smaller,
be played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it looks a lot more natural.
Yeah. Also, it looks like very clean for its when it was released.
Mhm.
Obviously.
Yeah. So the artists that worked on that were extremely talented.
Yeah.
And I'm really pleased with the reinterpretations.
Good job.
that the artists that I hired, including yourself.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that's what we've been working on. Ava obviously has a million priorities, and I'm surprised that she signed on to do some of these animations, which are left to be done.
It's fun, though. It's just very time-consuming.
Yes. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll be talking about that soon. Soonish. At any rate, thanks for listening, everybody. And,
yes, thank you very much, even though we've been gone forever.
Not forever, but a very long time.
Yes.
So you got a supersized episode to make up for it.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. My name, again, is Nick Baldridge, and this is...
Ava Baldridge.
And we are For Amusement Only. If you'd like to get in touch, you can reach us at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call us on the Bingos line.
Ooh.
Speaking of bingos, oh my gosh. That reminds me, there's stuff that I have to talk about with that, too.
You may be getting another episode soon, which
yes.
we'll
go
see
into
if will
bingos
actually happen.
So you can reach us on the Bingos line, which is 724-BINGOS-1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, also at Bingo Podcast, or sign up for the newsletter. And we also have a Discord. The Discord address will be in the show notes. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.
Goodbye. Also, everyone go buy our game. Thank you, and goodbye.